Hi everyone. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Today what we will do is we will talk about writing a bit more. Last time we talked about writing, we did our thesis statement and we introduced about our topic proposal. So everyone should have been approved for the topic proposal. And once you are approved, you may proceed with your writing assignment. And this first, what we'll do is we're going to write a draft essay. I wonder if you know what a draft essay means. So, a draft means not the final product, but kind of a pre writing product so that we can see what we need to improve on. So we'll write our rough draft first, and then we're going to check it. And I want to check it together. I'm going to see if we can do this together, and I'll explain more about that a little bit later. But I'd like for us to kind of check it together as a class, and then based on that feedback that you get, we will write a final product, okay? So our rough draft essay is going to be worth 3 points, okay? 3 points. Okay, some important facts about this assignment. You are supposed to write 26 sentences. So sentence, like a 문장 sentence. And you have to write 26 sentences. But of course they have to be connected into an essay format. And I would like you to upload those into the assignment page for this week. And please attach a Word file. Please no Hangul files, because my computer at home doesn't have Hangul, unfortunately. It's kind of not a good computer. But if you can upload it as a Microsoft Word document, that would save me, or something that's compatible with Microsoft Word, that would save me a lot of time and effort. Thank you. Okay, so what do we need in our essay? Well, first of all, we need an introduction. And do you remember the parts of the introduction? So we need a title. So title is the name of the essay. And I'm not really very picky about the title, just something that kind of summarizes your topic in a very simple way with just a word, a few words, or one word. And a hook. Now, what was the hook? Do you remember what the hook was? And a thesis and a preview. Okay, preview and reasons. Okay? So this is going to be about the hook, thesis or topic sentence, kind of a preview about what you're going to talk about and your reasons for talking about it. And I will show you a proper example in a minute. Okay, the body one of the paragraph. So the introduction is going to be the first part of your essay. Okay, first paragraph of your essay. Remember, there are 5 paragraphs. And okay, let's look at the body. So in the body, you will need a topic sentence and a support, one support, and a second, went too fast. You will need another support, and yet another, and another, and a closing sentence. Okay, for the body 2, we need a topic sentence, support 1, support 2, or support 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, and a closing. Body 3 will have a topic sentence, support 1A, 1B, 2A, and 2B, and another closing sentence should be. Okay, and a closing. Conclusion. So conclusions are going to be your final paragraph. You're going to restate your thesis, restate your reasons, but in different words, not the same words. And you'll have a closing sentence, okay? And let me move my face over here. And note that that went too fast. I am only checking that you followed my structure, completed the 26 sentences. For your final essay due in June, I will send you a checklist of everything you need in your essay. So this is kind of a rough draft, so it's not your clean copy yet. So don't worry about making too many mistakes at this time, because you can fix them and change them later. So just do your best. Okay? Okay, so we looked at the outline. Now what I'd like to do is talk about the individual paragraphs piece by piece. Okay, but how about the parts of the introduction? Okay, so we talked about we need a title. So the title of this example essay, I'm going to write about Starbucks coffee. So my title is going to be just Starbucks coffee. And notice that the important words here are capitalized. So we have a big S and a big C, capital letter S, capital letter C. So you should always put your title in big letters, capital letters. All right. And a hook. Now remember that a hook, one simple hook could be a question. So you can just ask a rhetorical question. Do you agree that Starbucks is the best coffee? So that could be a simple hook. And remember that from our last, one of our last few units, we talked about the introduction and the parts of the introduction. And there are more than one way to write a hook. So you don't have to always write a question, but this is just one example of a question. Okay, and now my opinion, which will be my thesis statement. I disagree that Starbucks should be considered the best coffee. Okay, that's my opinion, and that will be considered the thesis statement. Okay, and now I'm going to give a little bit of background and a preview of what I will be talking about. And one preview sentence: there are 3 good reasons to support this view. So we can predict that my essay will be about my reasons for not thinking that Starbucks is the best coffee. Okay, and I will actually tell you my reasons in the introduction paragraph. Reason 1, it's too expensive. Reason 2, there are many other choices. And reason 3, its taste is too strong. Okay, now let's see what it looks like as a written example. And so we can see that we have, do you agree that Starbucks is the best coffee? Where's the hook? This is the hook here. And also notice that I've centered my title. I put it in the middle. And I have indented. So I put a space here using the tab button on my computer. Okay, if you use your tab button when you're in Microsoft Word, it should automatically format your indent. Okay, and right away I'm talking about my thesis statement. Now the book says that we can put the thesis statement at the last sentence of the first paragraph. So there are different styles. If you want to put it here, that's fine. If you would prefer to put it here, that is fine as well. I prefer having it after the hook personally. But if you have a different style choice, you could put it here as well. And now the next part is I have the preview of my 3 reasons. And I explained that I'm going to talk about my 3 reasons directly. So there are 3 good reasons to support this view. It's too expensive. There are many other choices, and its taste is too strong. And also notice that I've highlighted that I will have a period here. So there's a period here, a full stop. In other words, a period here, a full stop, and a comma. Now there's some debate about what kind of style. There's the Oxford comma. You could put an Oxford comma here as well if you want, or you could omit it if you like as well. Okay, now we're going to talk about the body. So remember that the body is going to have 3 paragraphs in the body, okay? And they're going to relate to the 3 reasons that you have listed in your introduction sentence or your introduction paragraph. Okay, so this is going to be our second paragraph. So let's look at this. We have a topic sentence, support 1A, support 1B, support 2A, support 2B, and a closing sentence. So it's something that kind of summarizes that body paragraph and kind of gives us closure, transitions us to the next paragraph. Okay, here's my topic sentence. Here's an example of a topic sentence. First, Starbucks coffee is too expensive. Okay, so that's my topic sentence. And notice that that correlates to my introduction paragraph where I talked about my 3 reasons. And this was my first reason. For example, when I buy an iced Americano from Starbucks, it costs 4,600 won. Okay, so what kind of example is that? That is personal experience. So a personal anecdote could be one type of support. However, I also want to do a little bit of research in this essay. So I've included some research from several websites. So in my second support, according to Market Insider's website, Starbucks coffee is on average 38% higher than its competitors. So I've done some research. I went online and I found a reputable website that tells us that Starbucks is 38% higher than its competitors. So that would support my reason that it's too expensive. However, if I make my own coffee, it only costs about 200 won. And I've done a little bit more research here. Business Insider magazine reported that the average cost of making your own coffee is only about 200 won. Okay, so I did some research and I've used that as a second support. And my closing sentence, therefore I believe Starbucks coffee is overpriced. Okay, so we have some transition words here. We have for example, according to, however, reported, and therefore for my closing sentence. So I've summarized my opinion nicely. Here I've given personal example, some research, okay, and expert opinion. Now let's look at this as a unified written example. And so I wanted to show you the formatting. So again, we have a small indent here for our first sentence, okay, our first line. And I'm going to read this out loud first. Okay, that's an important transitional word, so we need first. First, Starbucks coffee is too expensive. For example, so when you give an example, you can use this transition word here, or phrase here. For example, when I buy an iced Americano from Starbucks, it costs 4,600 won, period. According to Market Insider's website, okay, we have some research here, so I'm going to put according to. Starbucks coffee is on average 38% higher than its competitors. However, if I make my own coffee, it only costs about 200 won. And Business Insider magazine reported that the average cost of making your own coffee is only about 200 won. Therefore, I believe Starbucks coffee is overpriced. So here you can nicely see how it's been formatted. So you're going to set your margin over here on the left side, and then yes, we call this block style. So your essay should also look like this. You don't want to start a new line for each sentence. So your sentence just runs on to the next sentence like that. Okay, let's look at body 2, and this will be paragraph 3. Okay, so we're going to have another topic sentence. So it's going to be the same formula as your body 1. It'll be the exact same type of formula. So you have topic sentence, support 1A, support 1B, support 2A, support 2B, and a closing sentence. Okay, let's see some examples of that. Okay, the topic sentence is, next, there are many other coffee shops to choose from. And our support 1A, it's a fact that in Korea there are many large name brand coffee shops and smaller independent coffee shops. So this is another type of support that you could use, and I don't think the book really mentions it, but something that's kind of common knowledge that everybody knows and that everybody agrees upon. So that is one form of support. Okay, and support 1B, in my experience, I have never been to a country with so many coffee shops. So in Korea, there are many coffee shops compared to other countries. Support 2A, standing coffee in Gangneung, Itaewon, in my opinion, has the best coffee. Okay, so I've used an example of a particular coffee shop. When I lived in that area, every day people were lined up to buy coffee there, which I believe shows it's the best coffee. So this is kind of like, this form of support is about kind of consensus or things that people generally agree upon. Okay, so we have some evidence about that. And closing sentence. Therefore, Starbucks is not the best coffee because there are better options. Okay, so we've talked about how there are many other coffee shops to choose from. And okay, let's look at body 2. Let's look at a written example of body 2. So we saw the individual sentences, and now let's see what they look like when they're put into paragraph form. Okay, next, there are many other coffee shops to choose from. It's a fact that in Korea, there are many large name brand coffee shops and smaller independent coffee shops. In my experience, I have never been to a country with so many coffee shops. Standing coffee in Gangneung, Itaewon, in my opinion, has the best coffee. When I lived in that area, every day people were lined up to buy coffee there, which I believe shows it is the best coffee. Therefore, Starbucks is not the best coffee because there are better options. Okay, let's have a look at the next body 3 paragraph. This would be paragraph 4 if you count the introduction, the first body, second body, and third body. This will be your 4th paragraph in your essay. All right, let's have a look at that. So we need a topic sentence again. So it's going to be the same exact formula. We need a topic sentence. We need support 1A, support 1B, support 2A, support 2B, and a closing sentence. Okay? Okay, here's some examples of the topic sentence. Okay, so this is the 3rd reason that you would have seen in the introduction paragraph. Okay, the topic sentence would be, finally, Starbucks coffee taste is too strong. Too strong. Okay, according to my friends, family, and I, Starbucks coffee has a very bitter taste compared to other coffee shops. So we're using another personal example here. Okay, now I've done a little bit more research. The magazine Consumer Reports did a blind taste test, and most people chose other coffee as having a better taste than Starbucks. Okay, so I looked at a magazine, Consumer Reports, and I found some research about that. In my opinion, Starbucks over-roasts their coffee beans, and this creates an unpleasant flavor. On consumerreports.org, one Starbucks barista states that Starbucks does roast their coffee beans to be darker, which is what creates the bitter flavor. And closing sentence, therefore I dislike the flavor of Starbucks coffee. And once again, let's look at body 3, which contains the written example here in this slide. So we're going to look at the body 3 as a written example. So again, notice that we have indented the first line of the paragraph, and you can use that. You can do that using your tab button on your keyboard. Okay, when you're doing Microsoft Word, you will push the tab button, and that will give you a nice indent. Okay, and also notice that for the 3rd body paragraph, I've used finally as a transition word, which lets my reader know this is my last and final point. Finally, Starbucks coffee taste is too strong. According to, so I've used some nice language here, according to my friends, family, and I, Starbucks coffee has a very bitter taste compared to other coffee shops. The magazine Consumer Reports did a blind taste test, and most people chose other coffee as having a better taste than Starbucks. In my opinion, Starbucks over-roasts their coffee beans, and this creates an unpleasant flavor. On consumerreports.org, one Starbucks barista states that Starbucks does roast their coffee beans to be darker, which is what creates the bitter flavor. Therefore, I dislike the flavor of Starbucks coffee. Okay, so you can see here that I've used finally, according to, in my opinion, and therefore as some nice transition words, transition language here. All right, let's move on to the conclusion, which we studied about last time. Okay, well look at the conclusion, paragraph 5. So let's review. We have introduction, body 1, body 2, body 3, and conclusion is last. So let's have a look at that. Okay, in the conclusion, we need to restate our thesis. Restate our thesis. So that means you're going to have the same topic, same main idea, but in different words. Okay, so you have to change the words. You can use synonyms, or you can change the order of the words, however you want to do it, but it has to be different words. It can't be the exact same phrase because that would be very redundant and not interesting at all to read. And you're going to restate your reasons. So remember that we had 3 reasons, and we're going to restate those reasons once again. And I'd like you to put a closing comment. So a closing comment could be a call to action. It could be your final thoughts or what you've learned from this research. So it could cover many various ideas here. Okay, and for the restating the thesis, I've changed the language just a bit, and I've added this phrase here. In conclusion, I believe Starbucks coffee is not the best coffee. Starbucks is too expensive. There are many other coffee shops, and its taste is too strong. Therefore, when it is a cold day and I want a hot beverage, I choose a different coffee shop than Starbucks. So I've restated my thesis here, I've restated my 3 reasons, and I've contained my final kind of call to action or my final thoughts about this topic. And once more, let's check out that written example. And here it goes. In conclusion, I believe Starbucks coffee is not the best coffee. Starbucks is too expensive. There are many other coffee shops, and its taste is too strong. Therefore, when I want to enjoy a delicious coffee, I choose a different coffee shop than Starbucks. And once again, we have indented here. So very important, make sure you indent your first line in each paragraph. And I've also contained my transition language in conclusion and therefore. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, let's have a look at transitions. And what transitions do is they help the flow of your essay. So it helps the reader discern where you are changing your topic a little bit, and it makes the essay easier for people to read. And it makes it easier for teachers to grade as well, because I know what part of your essay is coming next. So it makes my job a bit easier as well. Okay, so let's look at some common transitions here. Okay, so we're going to talk about topic sentence, first, second, next, third, and finally. And you can see that in the main paragraph. So if we went back, you could see first, second, next, third, and finally. So you can see that in each of the paragraphs. I could show you. Okay, for body 1, we have first. Now let's look at the second body and check out where we'll pass through all this. Okay, so for our second body, what word are we going to have? We're going to have next. Next, or it could be second according to the different transitions. And let's look at the body 3. So for the topic sentence of body 3, we could have finally. We could have finally for that. Okay, and I'll show you how that's written. So it would just be the first sentence here. Okay, now let's look at some examples of body sentences. And that's going to be in body 1, body 2, and body 3. And remember that those body sentences are your supporting paragraphs. So we have, for example, it's a fact that, however, and in my opinion. Okay, so those are some transitions that will lead us to some examples. So those are going to be sentences that tell us about some examples. And blank reported that. So in our essay we had Consumer Reports, Business Insider, for example, reported that mo. Okay, in my experience, and that's when I talk about my own personal experience. So these are all for giving examples or giving an opposite opinion if you're using however. Closing sentence. What are we going to use for a closing sentence of each of our body paragraphs? Well, we will use, we're going to have one closing sentence for each paragraph so that the flow is a little bit better. And here are some examples. We have therefore. Okay, another one, I don't think it's included in here, but you could say thus, could be another one. And our conclusion. What do we need for our conclusion? So in conclusion, and I think we talked about some other examples in our book last time. We had in conclusion, we had to sum up, to summarize. So you could use more if you feel the need to, or if you want to stick with this one, you can stick with that one as well. Okay, don't start a sentence with so, and, but, or because. And the reason is that these are conjunctions. These are conjunctions. So you're never ever supposed to start a sentence with these words. What can we use instead of these words? What can we use instead of so? We could use therefore. What could we use for and? You can start a sentence with also or in addition. Instead of but, we can use however. And when you want to write a sentence with because, it has to be in the middle of a sentence because it's a conjunction. So you need a clause before because and a clause after because. Okay, so here's some examples. Therefore, also, however, and when we use because, we would write a sentence like, I wore my coat today because it is cold. So that would be one whole sentence. Don't put a period in front of because. Okay, so now let's look at the assignment. So I need some sentences from you for the assignment. And the first sentence that I need is the introduction. Introduction. And in the introduction, we need a title, we need a hook, we need a thesis, a preview, and reasons. And if you've forgotten any of these or don't know any of these, please go back to the beginning of the video and review the examples, okay, if you've forgotten already. And body 1, we need a topic sentence, support 1A, support 1B, support 2A, support 2B, closing sentence, the one with therefore. Body 2, we need topic sentence, support 1A, support 1B, support 2A, support 2B, and closing. Body 3, oops, I went too fast. We need a topic sentence, support 1A, support 1B, support 2A, support 2B, and a closing. Okay, and finally our conclusion. We need to restate the thesis, restate our 3 reasons as we did in the introduction. We need a closing. Oops, I went too far. And we need a closing. So using in conclusion or to summarize or to sum up, etc. So we need a total of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going all the way up to 26. So you need a total of 26 sentences in your essay. So make sure that you have 26 sentences. You might want to go back and count and make sure that you have 26 sentences. Okay, so I'm going to give you directions for this assignment, and you're going to have 1 week. I know it's quite hard. You're going to have 1 week to do your draft. Okay? And go back and look at your topic proposal. Your topic proposal. What was your topic proposal? Do not change your topic unless I told you to change your topic. And I noticed when I was checking a lot of the topics, a lot of them were very broad. So make sure that you have a narrow topic. So instead of talking about communism, maybe talk about one aspect of communism, not, the whole idea. It's too broad. You need to make it specific, very specific, the topic. Okay? And you will write an introduction paragraph. Okay, we're going to write an introduction paragraph. So we did that a bit for the topic proposal. And write a 5-paragraph draft essay. So using this format, you're going to have 26 sentences. 26 sentences, and you will write it, please write it in Microsoft Office Word. And if you have something that's compatible, that's fine. Unfortunately, I do not have Hangul on my home computer. I don't have any HWP program on my home computer. My home computer is a little bit old, and I can't. I downloaded too many movies onto it and too much music, and I have a lot of viruses. So don't send me any Hangul stuff because my computer is out of sorts. If you send me Microsoft Word, that would be perfect. But please do not send me any HWP files because I don't have that ability to open it on this computer. Okay, and we're going to attach this in the assignments page. So just as we've been doing, I will upload our module for that week and let you know specific directions in more detail. And if you complete this, you will get 3 out of 3 points. And one more thing, I would like you to have 3 references. And I know at this time, it's kind of a tricky time because of the COVID-19. So I know you probably don't have access to the library. So if you could just, use the internet, that will be fine. But, do make sure that they are reliable, trustworthy websites, okay? Not conspiracy theories or anything silly like that. Make sure that they are trustworthy journals, okay? Okay, in important facts, it should be a Word file, once again, and you should have an introduction, a hook, a thesis, preview, reasons. So we're going to review one more time. Body 1, you should have a topic sentence, support 1A, support 1B, support 2A, support 2B, and a closing. Body 2, have a topic sentence, support 1A, support 1B, support 2A, support 2B, and a closing. Body 3, topic sentence, support 1A, support 1B, support 2A, support 2B, closing, conclusion, restate your thesis, restate reasons, have a closing, and as far as feedback, so I think you've noticed like I've been a little bit slow on the feedback because it's a little bit more complicated to check. I'm finding that it's, I haven't really done any online classes. This is my first time, but I'm finding that it's a lot more challenging to check essays online, because normally I would have some time in class where I would give students individual feedback, or we would do peer feedback. So I'm having a bit of trouble checking in a timely, detailed manner. So for this one, I think it's better if you try to follow this format, and I think it will make the checking a little bit faster. So I want to check that you've followed my structure and that you've completed the 26 sentences. So I'm just going to make it real simple. Just keep the same formula, the same format. And for your final essay, and that's going to be due sometime in June, I will send you a checklist of everything that you need in your essay. So we're going to do the same type of thing. And also, it's very important to make sure that you have your 3 sources, and you'll have to look at those online according to your own topic, and also make sure that you do not just simply copy and paste, which is plagiarism. So you want to use those strategies that we learned about paraphrasing and that, okay? Okay, well that is all for today, and we'll talk a little bit more. Okay, I would like to review the written example just one more time after we've covered over those transitions and what you need for your essay. And remember that you will need 26 sentences. Okay, 26 sentences written in this format. And I'll show you the format. Of course, you're not going to put it in PowerPoint, but you will put it into a Microsoft Word document. And here we can see the example. Here's the title, Starbucks Coffee. And here's the hook. Can you find the hook? Do you agree that Starbucks is the best coffee? I disagree that Starbucks should be considered the best coffee. And remember that that's your thesis statement. Okay, and in this case, we're going to have an opinion. So it's an opinion paper. And there are 3 good reasons to support this view. Okay, and this is called, again, this is called the preview, or it could be background information. It is too expensive. There are many other choices, and its taste is too strong. Okay, now let's, why don't we check out the second body 1 paragraph. This would be your second paragraph in your essay. Okay, remember that I mentioned that you need some transition words. Here's a transition word, first. first Starbucks coffee is too expensive. For example, and here I've used a personal example, when I buy an iced Americano from Starbucks, it costs 4,600 won. Okay, for example, according to, that was another transition that we used, Market Insider's website, Starbucks is on average 38% higher than its competitors. However, okay, instead of writing but, so if you wrote but here, it would be minus points. So you have to write however. However, if I make my own coffee, it only costs about 200 won. Business Insider magazine reported that the average cost of making your own coffee is about 200. So we have reported here. And that would be a form of paraphrasing, as we learned before. And therefore, I believe Starbucks coffee is overpriced. Okay, so we have therefore for the summary. Okay. All right, body 2. Notice that we have next. We have it's a fact that, in my experience, in my opinion, therefore. Okay? Again, remember that we're going to use these transition words. For the second body paragraph, you can use next. And you can just copy my formula if you want. Of course, have a different topic. But if you want to use my same transition words, you are more than welcome to use those. So feel free to use those. And let's look at the body paragraph 3. We have finally. For your last transition word, you're going to use finally. Okay, according to. So we're using some personal examples or, examples from people we know, and we're going to use according to. And then we have in my opinion. So I'm stating my opinion, and I've also used a website here to support my opinion. And I have therefore, once again, to conclude my body paragraph 3. Okay, and let's look once more at the conclusion. Okay, in our conclusion, we have, in conclusion, I believe Starbucks coffee is not the best. Starbucks is too expensive. There are many other coffee shops, and its taste is too strong. Therefore, when I want to enjoy a delicious coffee, I choose a different coffee shop than Starbucks. Okay, so very important for your conclusion, remember to have conclusion. And also, what do you notice that each of these paragraphs has in common? We have indented, and you can do the indent. I'm simply pushing the tab button and I get an indent. And so if you have 5 paragraphs, how many times should you indent? Yes, you're right. You should indent 5 times. So don't just indent 1 time, indent 5 times. So your formatting should look like this, okay? And if you need more information about formatting, please check out the Purdue OWL website, and it will tell you that you need to have Times New Roman 12 point double-spaced. Okay, that's typically how we would format an APA style paper. Okay, I think that's about all for today. So please check out the assignment page and upload your assignments to Smart Campus by the end of this week. I know it's not a lot of time, but it's just the rough draft, so don't worry if you're not completely done. Just try your best, and we will have a feedback time in the coming weeks, okay? All right, so take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you around. Hopefully I'll see you for the finals. I hope we can meet. I hope things in Korea will be stabilized and none of you will get sick. I hope we'll be healthy. Okay, thank you, and I'm signing off.